The Nats and Braves met 18 times last season, battling for the division into October. Ultimately, Washington clinched, compiling the league's best record, earning the top seed in the playoffs. Expectations are for more of the same. Both teams adding depth to compete in the rugged NL East. The final week of preparation begins this afternoon in Vieira. The wind is absolutely howling at Space Coast Stadium today. It'll be an interesting one. The Braves and the Nats, they know each other so well. Nationals beat them 10 of 18 times last year, 73 and 72 over the years. That one-game advantage, your Washington Nationals. Bob and FP, welcome to Central Florida, our final Sunday game down here. And the Braves, the Nats, they both added some things to a very good ball club on both sides. We will not miss, though, facing Chipper Jones and Martin Prado.
Well, you don't know if the Braves are going to be better and their additions are going to help them better than last year. That remains to be seen. They added the Upton brothers, but when you talk about the losses they had, Chipper Jones and Martin Prado's a guy that the Nationals have had trouble getting out, so they're glad to see him go. 305 career hitter against the Nationals, 38 doubles, 7 home runs. That's the highest career totals he has against any opponent. So good to see Martin Prado go. It'll be interesting to see how this thing shakes out, but as we found out last year, the Braves are going nowhere. They wouldn't give up last year. 94
wins last year, 4 fewer than the Nats. Jordan Zimmermann, a tough lineup to face today. 2 starts ago, a little bit of dead arm down here. He came roaring back his last time out.
Yeah, gave up a leadoff single to Andy Dirks, retired 18 straight hitters. Was nearly perfect his last time out. Working on that changeup. We'll see how it looks today in the wind.
Yeah, nobody wants to camp under a fly ball under these conditions today. So the Braves and the Nats, they already have a very interesting history. Even when the Nationals weren't very good, they used to give this team fits. Now they're real good, and so is Atlanta. Braves and the Nats. Washington is 11-14-2 on the spring. The Braves are 18-12. And it is a gusty day. We're going to have winds up near 30 miles an hour on an 81-degree day here. So it is going to be brutal in the field for fly balls. They said 60% chance of rain, but right now the sun's out, so we're enjoying some warm temperatures. Well, the Braves are committed to Andrelton Simmons in the leadoff spot. Freddie Freeman and Dan Uggla. And you notice this, FP, during BP today. They both dropped some weight. They look great. They're trying to be a little quicker, a little more mobile on that right side of the infield. And really the only regular, other than Brian McCann, who's injured, not here today, is B.J. Upton. But Justin is in the starting lineup. And Jordan Zimmermann in the spring, 0-1 with a 5.5 ERA. It'll be his sixth start. But as we mentioned, the numbers a bit skewed. He was really, really good last time out.
Yeah, last time out Monday against the Tigers, Jordan nearly perfect after a leadoff single to Andy Dirks. He retired 18 hitters in a row, 6 innings without a blemish, struck out just 1 through 67 pitches. So fastball, slider, curve, and the change is the pitch that everyone's talking about down here in spring. Set the defense for the Nats behind Jordan Harper, Span, Worth. In the outfield, Desmond Zimmermann on the left side, Espinosa LaRoche on the right side, and Kurt Suzuki behind the plate.
23-year-old shortstop Andrelton Simmons will be the leadoff guy. And, of course, Michael Bourne is gone. He will be their leadoff man. First pitch, 106. Right in there from Jordan Zimmermann. Simmons on the spring, hitting .267, couple of home runs and 4 RBIs. Braves as a team, if this is any kind of preview of the regular season, as far as how they're going to swing the bats, they're batting .288 as a team in Florida. We know they'll score runs. We know who has the best rotation in the division, and that would be the guys in red. Paul Nart has the plate today. And on the bases, Gary Cederstrom, Andy Fletcher, Ed Hickox.
Well, when you look at the Braves lineup, I think this is a team that could put up a 10 spot any day, but they also strike out a lot. They're prone to the strikeout. They swing for the fences, and they got some pop.
Bouncing ball. Everybody on defense would love a lot of ground balls on this kind of day, and Adam LaRoche takes care of that. That'll bring in Jason Hayward, who had a good bounce-back season last year, hit almost .270, 27 homers, 82 RBIs. After some of the struggles he had in his sophomore season in 2011. It was kind of an odd year for him when he hit just .227 with 14 home runs. Had a few injury tweaks here and there that he had to deal with. But we know that what this young man is capable of.
Well, you talked about the wind, Carp. Touched on it, 27 miles an hour. Gusts much higher than that. If you watch baseballs today, they could start in center, and legitimately, I'm not over-exaggerating, left center could end up foul.
And folks, don't think our crew's not working hard for you today. You're going to see some bouncing cameras in the ballpark. I mean, I wouldn't want to be up there.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
And when you talk to pitchers about pitching this, usually when the wind's at their back, that's when they have trouble controlling the baseball. Especially the off-speed stuff, it kind of pushes it toward home plate a little bit more, but blowing across from right to left, I don't know if it'll have an effect.
That's a 4-pitch walk. Jordan Zimmermann, 13 strikeouts, 6 walks now, in right at 20 innings on the spring. Good crowd on hand. Just a few bleacher seats, some bench seating available down either line. The Nats are averaging 5,754 a game in this 7,200 seat stadium. By the way, that's by far the best spring average they've ever had down here. Espinosa Desmond at a 4.63. Did Danny Espinosa get rid of that ball in a hurry or what? 3 outs on the ground. Little snack in the breeze, looking for seats, making sure everybody ends up where they're supposed to today. We don't know where fly balls are going to end up, but haven't seen one yet. Good first inning for Jordan Zimmermann. The Nats will be facing Chris Medlin today, who had a breakout season last year himself, coming back from Tommy John. Here's the lineup he will face, and Kurt Suzuki's back in there. He will be the only regular not making the trip to Kissimmee tomorrow to take on the Astros. So Davey Johnson alternating his catchers. All the regulars are in there. The Nats as a ball club are hitting .273 this spring with 23 home runs and 13 stolen bases. Medlin last year 10-1 in 50 appearances, 12 starts. They chose a different route than the Nats did with Strasburg. They started him in the bullpen before making him a starter later on.
Yeah, in 30 career starts, Medlin 15-2 with a 2.81. Get this, last time out, Carp Monday against the Phillies, he gave up 9 runs on 14 hits in 5 innings.
Wow.
Got knocked around a little bit, said that he threw fastballs and fastball counts. That's something he normally wouldn't do during the season. If you remember him last year, he was lights out against the whole league, and he's a guy that'll throw the fastball, slider, curveball change, run that fastball back on the inner half, a lot like Greg Maddux right there to left-handed hitters.
Denard Span on the spring, 10 for 44, hitting .227. Couple of steals. He has walked almost as much as he has struck out, 9 Ks, 8 walks. And a breaking ball got in on his hands.
I'm going to talk to Denard before the game today. Said the swing's coming around. He's feeling good at the plate. Takes him a long time in the spring to get his timing down for the fastball. Once he can get to the fastball, he feels like everything else takes care of itself. And we saw him last time on Friday, swinging the bat good.
Yeah, a couple of ground balls, then he hit a solid single right through the hole to left. Medlin has him 0-2. Take a little bit off and float that 82 miles an hour changeup outside.
If you remember last year, his pitch, his wipeout pitch with 2 strikes is that curveball. It's nasty. I don't know how nasty it'll be today with the wind blowing from his glove side to his arm side. That might let that curveball hang up a little bit longer and not have a lot of break to it.
Yeah, the wind totally opposite what it usually is here. Usually it's left to right. Today just roaring out of the right field corner over toward the other side.
That'll push the curveball away from a lefty. And you say, well, it's just 60 feet 6 inches. How much can it move? Well, when it's blowing this hard, it has an effect.
And Span works the count back even 2-2.
This is a wind that would affect your putts today.
I don't even want to think about ball flight. Span reaches out and taps it right field. Long run. No way for Hayward to get there. Now, on another day, that's a routine play. But that thing severely knocked down. And the Nats have their leadoff man on.
Anything in the air has a chance today. As a hitter, you're saying, well, I don't want to hit the ball in the air. I want to work on things. But if you want to raise your spring training average and you care about it, which a lot of these guys don't, most of them don't, just off the end, Denard Span staying on that 2-seam fastball from Medlin. And he tried to run it in there, and watch Hayward. He thinks he has this. Cruising over, and then all of a sudden the wind just kills it. And Denard Span will take it. Leadoff man on.
Here's Jason Worth with a spring batting average of .317 and a spring on-base percentage of .390. With the runner moving, no play at second base. Fielded by Juan Francisco, so the Nats stay out of the double play by having Span on the move.
Let's set the defense for the Braves today. Behind it, Chris Medlin. We saw Juan Francisco right there making a nice play. But the outfield, Upton, Johnson, Hayward, Simmons, Francisco, Ugla, Freeman, and Matt Pagnozzi doing the catching.
He is the nephew of former Gold Glove winning catcher Tom Pagnozzi. In fact, Tom won a couple of Gold Gloves. And, of course, Brian McCann, their frontline guy, he will not be back until at least the middle of April because of his right throwing shoulder. They say he can swing the bat okay right now. So right now on the Braves, there's a battle for the backup spot because David Ross got a 2-year deal, and he's gone. Valuable free agent kind of guy to have around.
Valuable guy in the clubhouse, a valuable catcher for the Braves. They had 2 quality guys behind the plate last year, and now they're searching.
We hope we see Bryce Harper for more than one AB today. He's got a sore thumb from contact this weekend. And he's going to take this at bat, see how he feels. And if he feels anything out of the ordinary, he'll come out of the game. Hitting .400 with 12 RBIs.
And this didn't look like, as Carp would say, severe damage. Hit the ball hard. A little rattle piece on the top hand. And usually when you jam your thumb, a lot of times it's on the bottom hand. But Bryce got to first base, take an inventory. There's some swelling in that left thumb, and he's going to see how it goes today.
Fourth inning single to right, and then Tyler Moore replaced him the rest of the day. Counts 3-1. Bryce was hacking on a 3-0 count. Davey will turn him loose during the regular season. Interesting today that Worth batted second, Harper third against a right-hander. There might be times when Davey goes lefty-lefty with Span and Harper to start things. There's a good piece of contact. Span will hold at third, and Bryce Harper should be feeling pretty good after that. First and third, one out.
Yeah, that was on the screws right there. That was hit so hard that Jason Hayward, with his incredible arm in right field, I thought had a chance to throw out Bryce Harper at first. Hayward playing shallow, gets to it on one hop, takes a look at Denard Span, but going back to Jason Worth's at bat, that had to be a hit and run. Denard Span with a good jump. Jason Worth usually doesn't swing at the first pitch, gets Span into scoring position, but Bryce Harper hit that ball a little bit too hard to score Span. Nice swing.
So Ryan Zimmermann steps in. Ryan's having a great spring. And we talked about this over the years. He's just one of those instinctive guys who doesn't need 20 or 30 at-bats down here to get things going.
Natural hitters can hit. They don't need all the at-bats to work on their timing.
By the way, did I mention a .514 on-base percentage? Look how shallow Hayward's playing now. You would never play Ryan Zimmermann where he just was. But that kept the Nats from having another bloop hit and a run.
Well, Ryan Zimmermann can thank Denard Span for that, because after that ball dropped in to lead the game off, Jason Hayward made the adjustment. Playing very shallow in right field. I mean, almost like a pitcher's hitting to a guy that has tremendous pop going the other way.
Yeah, look where he's going to play Adam LaRoche now.
Crazy. Look at this.
Evidently, somebody from the Nats dugout's giving him a hard time. He's explaining himself right now. He's like, you guys hit one over my head, I'll tip my cap to you.
I mean, he's almost playing Rover.
So LaRoche, 2 RBIs on the spring, a home run. Adam is 5 for 37. Runner going. Throw way offline by Pagnazzi, and that will allow Denard Span to score. I don't think we can call that a double steal, because he wasn't coming home until that throw skipped behind Andrelton Simmons. So Harper makes something happen, and the Nats get a run.
I think Pagnazzi's telling Adam LaRoche right there that the wind took this ball. Let's see if it has any effect. No, he just threw that to shortstop. The wind had nothing to do with that at all, and the Nats will take a gift run here in the bottom of the first.
Yeah, that's a stolen base and E2, and now LaRoche could make it 2-0.
I mean, I tried to give him credit for the win right there, but
yeah,
I don't know if he thought a play was on, a first and third defense to where Simmons comes up and cuts the ball off and maybe goes to home plate. A lot of times you'll see the shortstop just come straight in from his position. The catcher will throw the ball to the shortstop. The runner at third reads the throw going through, and the shortstop relays it to home. And maybe he saw Simmons cover the bag and said, oh, we have the wrong first and third defense on. And that'll happen a lot in spring training. Looked like he choked that one off once he saw Simmons covering the bag.
And by the way, the Braves have made 31 errors this spring. Now, a lot of those are made by minor leaguers. But for any ball club, that's the highest total I've seen of anybody. Because normally with a right-handed batter, you would have one guy covering, left-handed the other.
Well, pull hitter, shortstop's got the bag all the way on that. But if they wanted to work on a play, which Freddie Gonzalez does a lot in spring training, doesn't put a lot of credence into wins and losses, maybe they had a play on right there that was missed by somebody.
Breaking ball, and LaRoche will hook it foul.
I mean, Carp, once Jason Hayward gets back to his position, we'll show you a shot of it. We've seen defenses like this with infielders to where the second baseman, the wishbone defense on Adam LaRoche.
Yeah.
I mean, Jason Hayward's almost playing a shift on LaRoche.
So 2 on, or rather 2 out, 1 on, 1 in here, bottom of the first. And great speed out there with Bryce Harper. And LaRoche on a pitch that was tailing down and away. Good job of making contact to stay alive. What a lineup this is. We've got a guy like Ian Desmond batting 6th.
Deep.
And then a power guy, Espinosa 7th. Then pick your catcher for number 8. LaRoche up the middle, base hit. That'll make both runs earned as Harper comes home, and the Nats lead 2-0. With one swing, Adam LaRoche doubles his spring training RBI total.
Yeah, interesting defense by Freddie Gonzalez. Usually you see a shortstop on this side of the bag versus LaRoche. And just a routine ground ball to where we've seen many shortstops stand. Goes up the middle for a 2-out knock. Bryce Harper scores. 2-0 Nats.
Next up, Ian Desmond hitting .294. His on-base percentage, .451. Well, a day like this kind of reminds you of Davey Johnson and Ian Desmond last spring. He wanted Ian to be more aggressive and pull the ball more than he had the previous year. Weather conditions aren't going to dictate how you take every swing, but he gets around on one, it'll be 4-0.
Swing easy when it's breezy.
Why don't you tell Ian Desmond to swing easy?
Yeah, that ain't in the repertoire. Ever.
.02 target in. Desmond inside out swing, hanging in the air to right.
Look where he's going to catch this.
I was going to write down 4, but that was 9. The Nats pick up a couple. LaRoche, the RBIs.
IHOP is in Times Square to compare.
I was talking about first and third defenses. It's something you work on in spring training. The Braves and Matt Pagnazzi, Aldrenton Simmons. You look right here. A lot of times the shortstop will just come right up. The throw will go to the shortstop, an abbreviated throw. He'll relay it back. You try to deke the runner here at third base into thinking the throw is through. Watch where this throw goes. Right where he would have been had he went straight in. I mean, he throws it right to where he thought it was going to be. Simmons covering the bag, and you see the errant throw go into center field. I have to believe, just based on a major league catcher throwing a ball that far wide of the bag that maybe Simmons missed the sign, and they were going to work on a first and third D right there and try to bait Span into running home.
Yeah, and of course the key to that is the runner at third can't really tell the angle of the throw. You could throw it where Pagnozzi did, and Denard thinks it's going to the bag.
Well, what you do, Carp, at third base, a lot of times when you're a guy like Denard Span, is you go on release. So you wait to watch the ball out of the catcher's hand. As soon as it leaves his hand, you take off at third base, try to get the old double steal, score a run.
How about Mr. Ground Ball, Jordan Zimmermann here? Freddie Freeman, weak little tapper. All 4 outs on the ground with the double play ball. Justin Upton last inning. That'll bring in Dan Uggla behind Freeman. And FP, I know you and I were in on a conversation with some of the Braves guys that Uggla and Freeman have really hit the diet. They haven't hit the weight room as hard as they usually do, and these guys have dropped some LBs.
Well, it seems like that's what a lot of guys are doing. Chase Utley doing the same thing, staying away from the weights so much with the Phillies and doing baseball activity. And the first thing I noticed when the Braves came out of the dugout today is a slimmer Dan Uggla and a slimmer Freddie Freeman. They worked out together. They worked on dropping some LBs, being more flexible, not as bulky. And I think the biggest thing is the diet. A great article in the Post today by Adam Kilgore about Jason Wirth and how he's changed how the Nats think about nutrition in the clubhouse.
Wow.
Jason had a great quote. I'm paraphrasing. I don't have it up, but something about if you were a racehorse, would you feed him fast food before a race? So they have a chef down in the Nats clubhouse that tells you the fat content. Just like we do at Masson.
Boy, I tell you, we need one of those in the booth. Some days it's hard for them to get us up the elevator. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Dan Uggla, hitting .215. He has struck out 21 times in 65 at-bats this spring, and that's always been the big thing for Uggla. 168 last year in 523 ABs, and that's actually one of his lower numbers in recent years. This man whiffs a lot. Little half swing. Danny Espinosa, 5 in a row for Jordan Zimmermann, who only threw 9 pitches in the first inning. 5 of them strikes, and the only pitches he threw that were not strikes was the 4-pitch walk to Jason Hayward. That'll bring in third baseman Juan Francisco. Francisco was with them as a part-time player last year, still a youngster. Got him in a trade for right-handed pitcher J.J. Hoover back in April of last year from Cincinnati. Francisco for Atlanta hit 9 homers, drove in 32 runs as a backup and a part-time player, 93 games, 192 at-bats, and they're going to look to him for more this year. By the way, the Nats bullpen today consisting of left-handers. J.C. Romero, may get to see him for the first time. Fernando Abad, and then right-handers Craig Stammen, Ryan Matthews, and Tyler Clippard scheduled to at least be in line for work. We'll see how it works out. Wow, Jordan Zimmermann. 6 hitters, 5 ground balls, all 6 outs on the ground. Well done so far.
Bottom of the first. A little base hit for Denard Span right there, dropping in front of Jason Hayward. Bryce Harper with a bullet to right field. And Adam LaRoche with a 2-out knock up the middle to score Bryce Harper. And that's where the Nats stand. 2-0. Good guys as we go to the bottom of the second.
You know, for a moment, I thought you were cueing the truck to roll in the Worth home run.
Hey, you can show that anytime, anywhere. I told you. 160, what? 4 more times? Today's broadcast, the broadcast against the Yankees on the 29th, and then opening day. And I said we'll get Fox and ESPN to show it, too. Every single broadcast. It doesn't get old.
Well, I've got something we will definitely be doing. We're going to visit with Rick Eckstein in the next inning. Chad Tracy scheduled later, as well as Denard Span whenever he leaves the ballgame. So we've got a nice lineup of live guests for you today. Rick alongside Davey Johnson. We'll talk hitting. Here's Danny Espinosa, who might be one of the guys Rick really wants to talk about. Danny goes up hacking. That is just outside the bag for a foul ball. Batting .317. And the last thing we care about is the fact that Espinosa doesn't have any home runs this spring. He makes contact. Being as strong as he is, he'll hit 21 like he did 2 years ago and more than 17 like he did last year.
You just get the feeling that what he's done in the spring training, his attitude he's had, the swing corrections he's made, that he's just primed for a huge season. I know you say that about a lot of guys.
That's fair. Turned on that ball beautifully and hooked it. And the Nats know all about the throwing arm of Jason Hayward. So Washington, first 7 hitters, 4 hits.
Well, Medlin gave up 14 hits in 5 innings his last outing. And obviously at spring training, you're working on stuff. You don't want to put too much into that. He's a very good pitcher, but as you said, Carp, 4 hits in the first 7 batters in today's game, and that wasn't a cheapie. Danny Espinosa looking in, turning the fan on.
And the last 3 have been solid contact. Harper, LaRoche, and Espinosa. Here's Kurt Suzuki. Pitchers, by the way, are batting today. National League teams need to give their guys some reps and some ABs before they get north. Sinking fastball, low and inside, 89 miles an hour. Kurt Suzuki this spring hitting .276. You know, you were talking about Freeman and Uggla working out, losing some weight. The right side of their infield is not known for mobility. And really, for that matter, when Chipper was at third, not that much either. I mean, Simmons, as good a young defensive shortstop as there is in baseball. But they probably need some guys moving around to shore up their defense up, Pete. You know, last year they didn't make a lot of errors, but they didn't have much range. And that's something they've got to improve.
Well, I think you're absolutely 100% right when you talk about Dan Uggla, but I feel like Freddie Freeman has a gold glove in his future somewhere. He's good. He's that good over there.
He's good. We saw him spring training a couple of years ago for the first time, and it was like, wow, where did they find this kid?
But to your point, which is absolutely correct, is maybe a bigger Freddie Freeman doesn't get to some of the balls that a slimmed-down Freddie Freeman will get to this season.
And then you have bunt plays and all the other things first basemen have to deal with. 2-0, and Suzuki was taking a big-time hack. You know, that was one of the things. The Braves last year were one of the defensive leaders in the National League on a percentage basis. But if you watch them, there are balls the Nats and other infields get to, like Jimmy Rollins and Utley when he's healthy, that the Braves just didn't have. There's not going to be anything wrong with their outfield defense with the Uptons and Hayward out there. Guys who can fly with good arms.
Medlin's like Greg Maddux in so many ways. You talk about his repertoire, you talk about the inside sinker to lefties with 2 strikes, but a lot like Maddux, he has a quick move to first base, but he's very long to the plate. You see that big leg kick. You can definitely run on him.
Nats parlayed that into some first inning damage. And now a good count for Suzuki. Ton of hitting room on the right side as they cheat up the middle for a double play ball. He'll lay off that up and in delivery. And now a perfect bunting situation comes up for Jordan Zimmermann. Jordan can handle the bat. He hit 193 last year. with a homer and 4 RBIs. He's a 190 career hitter. Some good sticks on this staff.
We say it all the time, but as a bunter, first and second, nobody out, such a luxury to have wheels on the bases. Davey Johnson loves when his pitchers are bunting and he's got speed out there. You don't have to be so perfect with the bunt. Just get it on the ground, and the guys will advance because of their wheels.
Jordan had to duck back at the last moment. I think he's been the best bunter on the staff over the last couple of years. 22 sacrifice bunts.
And this one a little bit high. Oh. And tailing it in. And Jordan knows that move. A lot of times you'll see pitchers, to opposing pitchers when they square early, throw fastballs up and in just to get a strike. They'll try to buzz the tower. It's hard to get out of the way.
Runners going from second. He'll move them both up with a perfect bunt. That was interesting. Danny Espinosa was on the move. Suzuki wasn't until the bunt hit the ground, and that is perfect. Second and third, 1 out.
But when you have wheels, you don't have to be perfect with the bunt. But when you have wheels on the run, just get it on the ground. That had potential for a double play right there had he popped it up. You see the jump by Espinosa, and you love the aggressive base running by Danny. But with Chris Medlin's so slow to the plate, you have a chance to steal a base anytime. Even slower with the runner on second. You watch the big leg kick. It's almost like he's going on the windup.
1-4 on that sacrifice bunt, just in case you're one of those fanatics who scores spring games. And a breaking ball, pretty good curveball there under the hands, and a strike to Denard Span. Base hit first time up. Now a chance for his first RBI or RBIs of the spring.
And Freddie Gonzalez in the bottom of the second here with his infield in. Probably working on that as well.
When Span started his swing, that was a strike. By the time 80 miles an hour arrived, it was well off the plate.
A lot of curveballs from Medlin. Obviously knows which way the wind is blowing today. Maybe not working on it, maybe deciding to scrap it. Let's see if he goes to it here. That pitch was devastating for him and Freddie Gonzalez and the Braves in a 2-strike count last year.
And a 1-2. Span reaches sharply to Freeman. That'll be the second out. Got good wood on it, but in a defensive count, 1-2, had to put the bat on the ball. Get your 2013 season plans. You can do that at last year's pricing. But this year you get one of those cool red cards. Go to nationals.com/2013. This special offer expires 1 week from today, March 31st. Two-out RBI situation, Jason Worth. Left-hander on deck, and a good one. He should get something to work with here. First pitch change-up, 79, high in the zone. Ooh, breaking ball. A lot of snap to it. Pulled out the curve there. He threw one on the first pitch to Espinosa before giving up a base hit. His two best hooks so far in this inning.
I'm watching Kurt Suzuki on second base. When you see how shallow the outfield is playing for the Braves, he's working really hard on his secondary lead here with 2 outs.
Target in. Worth will hop back.
And as a base runner, Carpenter is a good base runner. Especially with 2 strikes and 2 outs. You're working hard to extend right there. You're going on contact. And the harder you work out there on your secondary lead, the better chance you have to score. You see how he's deep creating the angle for the turn at third base.
Worth, that is just foul. Didn't get big time wood on it, and it hooked just before it got to the bag.
Now the reason, Carp, and for you kids at home, with 2 outs on second base, you get a deeper lead, is because more times than not, and we'll see how it plays out today, a third base coach is going to send you with 2 outs. So you get your lead a little bit deeper, so you're creating that downhill angle to third base, so your turn isn't as wide. Well, watch Kurt Suzuki right here, a little teaching moment for you youngsters at home. You see how he's getting deep? He's not going to walk in. He's going to keep that deep angle because there's 2 outs, and he's creating the turnaround third right there.
Worth up the middle, well placed. And here comes Suzuki. The throw from Reed Johnson in time.
Like I said, that was a horrible secondary and a horrible turn at third. No, he did everything right there. Everybody playing shallow. He had no chance.
Hey, when you're up 3-0 early innings, take a shot. Worth gets an RBI, his 5th, 3-0 Nats.
Spring training, we're looking for things to talk about. I want to show you Kurt Suzuki one more time at second base. We talked about the deep lead. He's trying to create that angle at third base. Watch the turn. It's a good turn. And the only reason he gets thrown out right here, see how he stays tight on the grass? Is A, Reed Johnson has a big arm in center field. B, and he was playing rover just a couple steps behind second. That's a great job by Trent Jewett sending him right there with 2 outs. But Kurt Suzuki did everything right there. Big secondary lead, worked hard, created a good downhill angle at third base. It's just the fact that it's windy and the outfielders are playing the infield that he was thrown out.
And, of course, Rick Eckstein noticed that Chris Medlin crossed right in front of Kurt Suzuki between third and home. Hey, Rick, thanks for joining us. Good to have the headset on you. And let's talk a little bit of hitting. We've seen Denard Span get a base hit today and Adam LaRoche with a base hit. Neither of those guys hitting for big average this spring, but what do you think about the 2 lefties right now?
Oh, we love them. You know, right now they're just trying to get comfortable, get their timing in the box. They're starting to show good signs of that, and just having everybody together and healthy, and it's what we're shooting for to break camp.
I would imagine, Eck, that one of the biggest challenges for you as a hitting coach is you obviously want a veteran ball club with, you know, there's nobody trying to make the ball club be peaking at the right time, but with such a long spring training, it's probably been a challenge for you and Davey to get these guys locked in at the right time and when they're heading north for opening day.
Yeah, Davey's been preaching that since day one with such a long camp, long spring training, guys not peaking too early and, you know, easing everybody into it, but at the same time getting enough reps to get comfortable and get ready for the season.
Rick, today, left, right, left, right, left, right, and then Espinosa switch hitter. I mean, with Jason Worth hitting second, this is a pretty tough 8 guys to pitch to.
It is. It's nice to have a very balanced lineup with us. All the athleticism we have in our lineup, the speed, the ability with the bat, hitting and power. It's exciting to think about our lineup.
How will Denard Span, leading off on a regular basis, change this ball club offensively from maybe some of the approaches we saw last year? Do you think there will be more manufactured runs, to use that baseball term?
Yeah, you know, Denard brings a great aspect to the club. I mean, he fits right in with the makeup and the character of this team. But then, you know, he's a guy that even when he's not hitting for a high average, he's still drawing his walks and has a high on-base percentage. And as you saw in the first inning, you know, he takes off to steal the base, and, you know, Jason puts that ball in play. But he makes stuff happen. Guys respond to that. And, you know, to me, he's like a solidifier at the top of the lineup, and that allows Jason to do his thing too. And Jason likes to see pitches, and then you got the meat of the order coming up. And it could be a pretty fun year.
You know, when you talk about spring training, you don't want to get a little overexcited, but the way I'm seeing Danny Espinosa, his approach to the plate, his attitude, his swing from the left side, everything looks great heading into opening day.
Yeah, you know, Danny's done such a great job with himself. You know, his thought process and what he's trying to do and accomplish with his swing, especially left-handed, you know, has really come in the right direction. He's starting to put it into play. When he takes batting practice now, you can really see the difference of a day in and day out mentality and approach that he's putting to use with his left-handed swing. It's great. He's been awesome with it.
Oh, nasty spinner. Look at the play by Desmond and Espinosa. How about that for a 6-4-3? And Jordan Zimmermann, all 8 of his outs on the ground.
Yeah, just like you used to turn him at the University of Florida as a Gator right there. How about that? A little in-between hop for Ian Desmond. Watch the glove work. Watch the quick hands. Stay soft. Perfect feed. Desmond in traffic. My goodness, they don't get any sweeter than that. And watch Reed Johnson. He's going in there hard like it's October. I mean, you play the game hard one way. Good slide by Johnson. Clean. My goodness, what a double play by Desmond and Espinosa. They don't get any sweeter than that.
Chris Medlin, the hitter, a 123 career batter, 4 RBIs. And Jordan Zimmermann now smelling the finish line here in the 3rd inning. Hey, Rick, thanks for your time. We love watching you work with these guys. Looking for a great offensive season, and have a great final week here, and we'll see you next week, buddy.
Hey, thank you very much, Bob. MP. Really appreciate everything.
Keep them locked. Keep them locked. Nice job.
First strikeout for Jordan Zimmermann. 3 outstanding frames for Harper, Zimmermann, and LaRoche, bottom of the 3rd. Straight ahead, how about Jordan Zimmermann? We'll talk more about him. 32 pitches in 3 innings. Couple of double play balls. Nats, Braves, rankings in the league last year. They had 94 wins. Nats had 98. Top 7 in runs, both of them. The Nats' best pitching staff. That appears to be a big-time edge they might have over the Braves this year. Although some would say Atlanta's got a better back end of the bullpen. We'll see. And there's that fielding percentage I talked about. We don't consider Atlanta a better defensive team than the Nats because Washington has such tremendous range at almost every position.
Well, it's becoming a very friendly rivalry. When you watch these guys during batting practice, they all know each other. There's a mutual respect between the Braves and the Nationals. And in a normal year, the Nats would have won the NL East by about 10 games, but the Braves just wouldn't go away. It's a credit to that franchise, that organization that's won all those National League East titles back in the day. But they battled all year long, and they had a lot of us sweating in the month of September last year. just wouldn't go away.
Bryce Harper, 2 for 2. And here's the other thing. It was one weird play in the outfield in a one-game playoff that kept Atlanta out of the division series. One quirky play that allowed St. Louis to beat them. Or the Nats might have met them a little later. You never know.
Well, there's a lot of experts picking the Nats and the Braves in the NLCS right now.
Ryan Zimmermann, fly ball to right first time, and Freddie Freeman with Hayward behind him playing shallow, and there is no chance for Pagnozzi. And Bryce Harper is 2 for 2, and this spring he's 4 for 4 stealing bases.
Well, we talked about the big leg kick from Medlin. Bryce Harper taking advantage right there, a little peek in, steals the base easily. I'll tell you what, Carp, first time around the league, and Medlin was 9-0 as a starter last year in 12 starts. I mean, you have advanced scouts, but you know, it starts to become common knowledge that he's slow to the plate. Guys are going to take advantage. I think the hardest part last year against Chris Medlin was stealing first. If you could steal first, you had a good chance of stealing second or third.
One ball, one strike to Zim. Target is in. Whoa, way in there. Before the game, down around the cage, two guys who play a lot alike and did play like that got to get together, and that was Bryce Harper with former major leaguer and now a Braves broadcaster, Brian Jordan. He's here today. They're doing some TV, and Brian was an outstanding All-American football player at the University of Richmond who later played as an All-Pro defensive back for the Atlanta Falcons. Then he got time in the NFL, and Brian told me, there's BJ, who played as hard as anybody. He told me that he really admired the way that Bryce Harper played this game. And I said, Bryce, this guy played just like you do. And guys like that, and you were that kind of guy too. Guys like that kind of gravitate towards each other. There's a certain way guys can go just pedal to the metal and do it intelligently every day.
Well, he brought that football mentality to the baseball field. Brian Jordan did every single day. A lot of big-time collisions with catchers, I remember. And Bryce Harper plays the game the same way.
Yeah, I saw him send Brad Osmus about halfway back to the Houston dugout one day. Can you imagine being all-pro in the NFL and then also making it in the major leagues? That's amazing. 3-2. Look at Zimmermann give himself up for a little ground ball to move the runner. Every guy in that first base dugout will consider that at bat a thing of beauty right there.
Yeah, get some high fives going back to the Nats dugout. Getting the job done. That's something you won't see him do very often early in the game. A guy that hits a third or fourth generally is going to try to drive in that run, but he got an off-speed pitch and a 3-2 count. Was all systems going. Did a nice job of keeping his hands inside and moving the runner.
Infield in, another runner at third base. Fewer than 2 outs. Adam LaRoche a chance for a 3 RBI day. He'd only driven in 2 all spring until today, but as you heard, Rick Eckstein, not that we were worried, but Rick just likes the way he and Span are coming around with their swings. Wow. Big time off-speed pitch, 81 miles an hour by Chris Medlin. With that breaking ball and missed with the curve, 1-2. By the way, Chris Young at Kissimmee tomorrow against Houston. Zach Duke and Drew Storn scheduled to pitch. All the regulars are making that trip except for Kurt Suzuki. And then Tuesday down in Jupiter against the Marlins, Dan Herron goes against the Fish. Medlin trying to paint, and Paul Nauert didn't give him the call.
Pretty good pitch by Medlin. Pretty good take by LaRoche. Almost looks like a four-seam fastball in the black. I didn't see a lot of tail to it. Good frame by Pagnozzi. Didn't get the call.
Off-speed pitch, and LaRoche puts it in the air to right.
This should be interesting.
This could be interesting. Great arm, great runner, and Harper's going to stay where he is. Ballpark playing totally different today than it usually does. 2 outs.
That's just an intelligent play by Trent Jewett, Bryce Harper at third base. Do you really need to test an arm here? Do you really need to have a close play at home plate as you get to the end of spring training?
No and no.
Yeah, no chances right there. Good job by both those guys. Not trying to force the issue. I think as a player right now, you see a ball go in the air to right field. You're not thinking about tagging up at all. Regular season, though, you know Bryce Harper's going on that. And there's going to be a collision at home.
You know, and during the regular season, the throw has to be perfect to get a guy like him. 3 or 4 feet offline either side, he scores. Breaking ball misses to Desmond. Ian flew out to right first time up. Two and 0 to Desmond. 2 homers, 6 RBIs this spring. Fastball rides high.
Check out Ian Desmond's home run on Friday. He got a curveball, I believe, from Smiley, rode it out of the yard against the wind to left center field. I haven't dropped a tater yet this year, but that was a tater. And we met a guy today before the game, a Nats fan, who named his dog Tater, and we love it.
That was a 5th inning solo shot. And Ian's aboard here in the 3rd inning of the Sunday game with Danny Espinosa coming. We just, some of you may be back home by now who came up and stopped by the TV booth here over the last 3 weeks. We just appreciate the vibes that you're giving us and how friendly you've been. And
yes,
we just enjoy so much our contact with the fans here in spring training. And if some of you are back home after being down here, thanks for coming by. We look forward to seeing you at Nats Park.
Yeah, we are overwhelmed by the love and the support. And it's just great to see all the Nats fans down here getting ready for the season.
And I have to be honest, I've worked for some other ball clubs who are used to winning and have a great vibe at spring training. What we're feeling down here this year is as strong or stronger than anything I've ever felt from any fans in the month of March. It's just been incredible here. We're down by the first base dugout waiting to do our opening segment down there. Ian Desmond comes out of the dugout and a couple hundred people in the right field seats just stand and cheer, and he waves at them. And, you know, in years past, some guys might run out of the dugout and the fans are going, who's that guy? It's not that way anymore. Espinosa puts a good swing on it. It is carrying, and that ball is gone. There's your jet stream home run. Danny Espinosa's first of the spring, and the Nats have taken a big lead here. It is 6-0.
Yeah, 6 runs on 6 hits, and you talk about Chris Medlin's last outing, and giving up 14 hits and 9 runs. You could say that was a blip on the radar screen. When you back it up with this one today, as you watch Danny Espinosa swing easy when it's breezy, didn't put a lot into that. The ball carried to left, and all smiles in the Nats dugout right now. Why not?
He goes from no homers, 5 RBIs to 1 homer, 8 ribbies on 1 swing. And he got up there because of the 2-out walk that Ian Desmond, not the most patient hitter in the world, drew. So the Nats doing some good things today. They've out-hit the Braves 7-0. And here's Kurt Suzuki, who walked his first time. He'll hit it to right. He hit that ball hard. It's not going anywhere over there. But on the other side it is Danny Espinosa with a laser beam to left field. And after 3, Nats 6, Braves nothing.
You have just a
Game summary going into the fourth. Nats up by 6. Denard Span, a base hit, a run. Bryce Harper, 2 steals, 2 runs. Danny Espinosa, the home run. And then, of course, the other side of it, very efficient work by Jordan Zimmermann.
Yeah, pitcher to contact, get a little help from his defense. A couple of double plays. Danny Espinosa to Ian Desmond right there with a quick feed. And how about this play right here by Jordan coming off the mound, a little tapper back. So 8 ground ball out so far for Jordan Zimmermann, 32 pitches, 18 for strikes. One of the prettiest spring training double plays you'll ever see right there, 6-4-3 variety. So Jordan Zimmermann struck out 1 last time, and he's pitching to contact again here today.
Last year, Chad Tracy hit .261 as a pinch hitter, 12 hits, a homer, on 11 RBIs. Chad, thanks for joining us. And wouldn't you like to go opposite field with a fly ball today?
Yeah, I mean, I think the spot to hit it is right down that left field line. That wind is taking anything that way.
Hey, Chad, let me ask you a personal question here that obviously has a lot of baseball involved. What did it mean to you during the season last year when the Nationals gave you a contract extension? That just doesn't happen to bench guys and, guys who come in and pinch hit late. What did that mean to you and your family to get that commitment from this ball club?
It just meant that these guys thought a lot of me. They respected what I'd done for the team, what I'd brought to the clubhouse, and brought to the field. And, it had been a little while since I had some kind of security. And it's nice to come into camp and be able to work on a few things and not feel like that you've got to go out there and go with what's going to get you a hit at that moment. It's been a good camp for me.
Well, I don't know if it was opening day or the second game of the year in Chicago last year. You got a big hit. You came back to the dugout and you said, Goon Squad 1, starters nothing. And that's when it started. But Chad, as a former bench guy, I mean, I've been on ball clubs where guys don't embrace the whole I'm on the bench, I should be starting thing. But the fact that you got them together and you kind of wore it like a badge, you as bench guys came together as a team, to me was one of the most valuable things that happened last year.
Yeah, we've got a great group, first of all, on this bench, and we take pride in what we do as bench guys. And I think all these starters, they respect what we do, and they realize that we're really good players too. We're not starting, but they know that we're going to have to come in and pick them up sometimes, and to have the respect of your teammates, which they all give you, it means a lot.
Well, you're all major leaguers, and enough said. But when you talk about young guys like Lombardozzi and Tyler Moore, how do you get them to buy in to not playing every day?
Well, I think they realize that they're biding their time to be starters. They will be starters one day in this league, and for the time being, they're making us a whole lot better as bench guys for us. So, just trying to help them get in that mindset for a bench guy and kind of trick yourself into your situation and mentally prepare and visualizing what the situation might be, and I kind of help them along with that, letting them know when they may be going in the game, double switch, pinch hit, what the situation is. So these guys they're phenomenal players. Tyler Moore's going to hit 40 home runs one day in this league, I have no doubt.
Andrelton Simmons with a base hit leading off the fourth, and now Jordan Zimmermann 0-1 on Jason Hayward. Chad, what is your typical game routine like? How do you start the game knowing that you're going to see some action later on, and when does everything really start kicking in for you?
About the 5th inning usually, depending on the way the game's going, how many pitches a starter has at the time. I'll go downstairs and go ahead and get a little blood going, get coach to stretch me out, take a few hacks just in case, and then I'll come back out and then go back in more, depending on how the game's, the way it's going to dictate later. I'll go in and get some hacks and really get the blood going again, so I'm hot and sweaty when I get in the box.
And consequently, in the winter, getting ready for the season, you just jump off the couch with your family and go take one hack and then come back and sit on the couch, right? That's how you get ready for the year.
I wish it was that easy, but I still train like I'm an everyday guy, and I prepare to play every day because you never know what can happen. You never know if a guy gets hurt. You might be thrown in there for a month, 2 months. So, I take pride in working out and and still train like I was an everyday player.
And, Chad, you're a huge influence in that clubhouse. You talk about the difference from last year. I don't think you snuck up on people last year because everybody knew the Nationals were a good ball club. But, I mean, has there been discussions inside the clubhouse how, hey, it's going to be a little bit different this year? We have a target on our back. Everybody knows we're good and we're not going to sneak up on anybody.
You said it, FP. I think, I think everybody's going to be gunning for us. They know how good that rotation is, that we're going to be running out there, and they're going to bring their A game and their focus every night. They're not going to be able to run out there and win a ball game against us. And, if they do think that, then, we'll pound them in the ground every night.
Justin Upton, the hitter. A couple of ground balls go through the infield. So how far is your Carolina Blue going to go in this NCAA tournament?
Oh, I hope they go a long way. I think they're a little young this year, but Coach Williams will have them playing good. They'll be good for a couple more years. If we can get some guys to stay around for 3 or 4 years these days.
Yeah, that's a big challenge in college hoops. Swing and a miss on a pitch low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Well, Chad, thanks for joining us here, buddy. Congrats on a great season last year. And we don't want you on the DL for 2 months this time. We're knocking on wood for you to have a full 6 months healthy because we know you'll do great things for this club.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Take care, guys.
All right. 32 years young, Chad Tracy, the pride of Mecklenburg, North Carolina. 1 ball and 2 strikes, and a pitch hit straight back on a big-time swing by Justin Upton.
It's another quality individual that we run out there for an interview. What new?
He has the perfect mentality for that job. Freddie Freeman on deck here in the 4th. And you folks can tell how windy it is on the field when our guys in the dugout put on those headsets. Tough day. Ground balls most welcome. Oh, that's a good fastball. Catching the corner. Upton a little visit with the home plate umpire, Paul Nard, and that's a big first out here in the 4th inning.
Yeah, well pitched right there by Jordan Zimmermann. If you watch any spring training games this year, Justin Upton likes the ball close to him. He's hit some monster home runs in his home ballpark there at Disney World. Nice job of pitching him away right there, making him beat you into the wind.
Here's Freddie Freeman, who hit a little bouncer in front of the plate first time, and Zimmermann threw him out. Jordan just missing under his hands. Right now, Zimmermann averaging 12 to 13 pitches per inning. He's on a good, efficient track today. It looked like an off-speed pitch, 85. Had the right-handed, rather left-handed hitter out ahead.
Well, you talk about the changeup that Jordan's been working on down here, and you start to talk to him about it, he becomes all smiles. If you can add that to your repertoire, and you're a guy that throws 94, 95, occasionally 96 miles an hour, and you make me think about that, Steve McCaddy's been working on with him, trying to get him to buy into it, and I think he's seeing the results. Because, Carp, if you're a guy like Zimmermann and you throw everything hard, the slider's hard, the curveball's hard, the fastball's hard, as a hitter, I gear up for that.
Yeah.
And I don't have to worry about any split in your speed differential. I gear for hard, and I deal with the break on the slider. And, his pitches are so good, sometimes you can't even hit him if you're looking for him. But now you had something slow with good arm speed in there, like a changeup. Even if he throws 5 or 6 a game, now as a hitter in my pre-series meeting, I have to think about, oh, gosh, this guy's got a changeup, too. Are you kidding me? And it just adds that little doubt in the back of your head to make his fastball even a little bit faster.
He's given up 30 home runs in just a little over 250 innings combined the last 2 years. So that'll be a great weapon for him. But the other thing about Jordan is he seldom walks anybody before he gives up one of those. I mean, he's attacking the zone. And I don't know, of those 30 home runs, I bet you 21, 22 of them have been solos. He just doesn't nibble around as a rule. Not his mentality. 3-2 here. Pretty good battle with Freddie Freeman. Top of the 4th inning, Braves just got their first 2 hits of the game. Their previous runners had been erased on double play balls. Powerful Dan Uggla waiting. 3-2 again. Oh, he tried to go around the outside with a breaking ball, and now the bases are loaded. 3rd walk of the day.
Really seen these situations before. Dan Uggla likes the ball close to him. The wind's blowing out to left field as Freddie Freeman leaves the game after a good at-bat. And I wouldn't be surprised if this whole sequence from Jordan Zimmermann to Dan Uggla is on the outer half of the plate.
Chris Johnson running for Freddie Freeman. Veteran corner infielder's been around the big leagues for a while. Broken bat, base hit. Runners will all move up 90 feet. Dan Uggla, his 6th RBI of the spring. Strong enough to break his bat and get that ball into left field.
Well, first pitch fastball away for ball 1. Jordan Zimmermann goes on the outer half of the plate with the slider and a 1-0 count. And Dan Uggla reaches out there and hooks it off the end of the bat. Broken bat single, bat died a hero. The Braves on the board.
First pitch breaking ball, a beauty to Juan Francisco.
I think you're looking right now at the maturation process of Jordan Zimmermann, a guy that a lot of times last year, as the season went on, learned that you go soft in crisis situations as far as your pitch selection. As a young player, you got a good fastball, you get bases loaded, 1 out against a good team, you rear back and see how hard you can throw it. That's when the damage occurs. But the older veteran guys, we saw it a lot with Edwin Jackson last year, this is when you go to your off-speed. And 3 curveballs in a row by Jordan Zimmermann, looking for that strikeout right now with the bases loaded and 1 out.
Yeah, not always easy for young pitchers because throughout their early careers, they're just used to reaching back and striking guys out. This is a whole different level. And a 1-2, jammed him. LaRoche, second, return throw. They got them both. A 3-6-1 with 2 very long throws by Adam LaRoche and Ian Desmond. And the Nats have turned 3 very good double plays today.
For the Nats, gets them out of a jam. I mean, the defense today has been outstanding. Adam LaRoche with a great feed to Ian Desmond, but the footwork by Ian Desmond, nice job of getting rid of it. Didn't get a lot on it, but if you watch the exchange by Desmond and the footwork, I don't think you can get rid of a ball any quicker than this with something on it. just redirected it to first base, and this angle right here will show it. Watch what I'm talking about. Clear yourself, get rid of it, something on it. Good stretch by Zimmermann. And I don't know where Francisco was from the left side, but he took a while getting down there to first base. But the Nats defense in full effect today, throwing some serious leather.
Chris Johnson will stay in and play first base. And they've got a couple new outfielders we will update you on shortly. Jordan Zimmermann leads off, bottom 4. Jose Constanza takes over in left field for the Braves, and we know that guy can fly. And Jordan Perez in right field. So Upton, Hayward, and Freeman all out of the game. Jordan Zimmermann, perfect 1-4 sacrifice bunt back in the second that set up the Jason Worth 2-out RBI single. And Tyler Pastanicki has also come into play second base, so Dan Uggla's out of the game. I mean, they're pulling everybody. Even Andrelton Simmons is out of the game. And Zimmermann called out on strikes. That is the first strikeout for Chris Medlin today.
I just looked in the booth next to us. They have their AAA radio crew going right now.
Ramiro Pena takes over at shortstop. And then Tyler Pastanicki, who was playing a lot of shortstop for them last year until Andrelton Simmons got healthy, is at second base. And they really consider him more of a second baseman now than a shortstop. Tapper right side from the bat of Denard Span. He's 1 for 3, 2 outs. Don't forget about your Natitude Flex Pack. It's on sale right now. Pick 4 games, get a 5th game free. Go to nationals.com/flex, and you can pick up 5 games for the price of 4 this year. It'll be Jason Worth. RBI, clean, singled up the middle last time to give the Nats at that time a 3-0 lead. This ball popped way upstairs. And there is no way the Breeze is going to allow that to remain playable.
Well, I'm telling you what, if you haven't got a Sunday edition of the Washington Post, you got to go get one and watch and read the article that Adam Kilgore did on Jason Worth. A great piece on how he's changed the thinking for this ball club. Stuff that we've already known for a while, but Jason has some very, very frank quotes in there talking about, I've never been one to make a good first impression. My whole life has always been, you got to kind of get to know me first. But usually first impressions aren't my strong suit, and just how he's changed the whole thinking around this ball club to where the squeaky wheel, and he's asked for a lot of changes, and they've all been done from the weight room to the diet. And he's just a guy that's been a tremendous influence on this ball club since day one, and came here to win, and he's mission accomplished.
In the air, by far Medlin's best inning of the day. And this one into the 5th, Worth and the Nats by 5. barbecue chicken for your afternoon here on Sunday, a week before Easter. So here we are in Vieira, Florida. Bob and FP having a good time with you. But we'll have a good time coming home on Friday. The Yankees are coming in. Not that the Nats can pay them back for being swept at home last year, but we'll see who Joe Girardi has in that lineup. But you folks who haven't been able to get down here to Florida, you can see your Nats at home 2 p.m. against the Bronx Bombers. The very injured and beat up Bronx Bombers, I might add, right now. Teixeira, Jeter, A-Rod. Wow, do they have some issues.
I believe Andy Pettit is lining up for that game.
That'd be cool. What will the temperature be? What's the over-under on the temperature Friday?
Over-under? I'll go straight 46.5 degrees.
According to Bob's bootleg weather,
Uh-oh, here it comes.
mostly sunny skies, high of 54.
Oh.
That's not too bad.
No, that's beautiful.
Of course, we were 54 in Chicago on opening day last year, and we froze our headphones off. A little different with Lake Michigan blowing at you. So here's Reed Johnson leading off the top of the 5th inning. Jordan Zimmermann, 58 pitches, 35 strikes through 4. Three more outs to get an official ball game before the wind goes 40 miles an hour. Did you tell me you've had a spring training game winded out before when you were playing?
I have. Felipe Alou came out and said, you know what, too windy today. I don't know if pitchers are going to be able to control the baseball. It's not safe. We're not playing. I mean, I felt like Jim Cantori doing the Open. Doing a hurricane. That's out of here.
Not today. That was minor damage. Keeps it in the ballpark. Reed Johnson out to Bryce Harper. Good news is Bryce Harper's thumb is feeling good. He's still in the game, and he'll be the leadoff man in the bottom of the 5th. He's had 2 solid knocks, 2 steals, and 2 runs scored today. That's the best news of the day, really, along with the way Jordan's pitching. And here's the catcher, Matt Pagnozzi. Challenge fastball on the first one. Zimmermann. Short throw. LaRoche picks it. Textbook form on knocking down a hot shot. 2 outs.
You know, I watched Ryan at third base today, and he was let loose with his throws across the diamond. I hadn't seen him throw that hard since I've been here. And that one he took a little off. Adam LaRoche picked him up on the backside, but very free and easy to his backhand side. The throwing motion looking very healthy and throwing across the infield with tons of velocity today, more so than I've ever seen. Nice play by LaRoche at first. What new?
Here's Chris Medlin with his second at bat. So he's pitched 4 innings, given the Nats 6 runs on 7 hits, 1 strikeout, 2 walks. Nats have made him pay for 1 of those. You know, but everybody was talking about, oh, last year the Braves, you know, they did what you're supposed to do. They had Medlin in the bullpen. They let him come back from Tommy John surgery, and then he was able to start and be effective at the end of the year. They were talking apples and oranges. This guy is a totally different pitcher than Steven Strasburg. Can you imagine Strasburg in the bullpen for a couple of weeks or a couple of months? That just was not going to happen, and some people just couldn't get over that.
Well, he's not the face of a franchise, and I think when you talk about the difference in where the Nats had come from and where they're going and where they're at right now, you have to take care of your ace, and I don't think Chris Medlin ever had that title until he went out and went 9-0 as a starter last year in 12 starts.
Yeah.
Totally different.
Jordan Zimmermann with a 1-2-3 5th inning. Bryce Harper, as mentioned, already hitting 400. 2 hits, 2 steals, 2 runs. He's next. So it's on to the bottom of the 5th inning, 3-4-5. You know who number 3 is, and he's having quite a day so far on this Sunday.
Yeah, Friday was a bad day for left hand. Steven Strasburg, a line drive off his glove hand. Bryce Harper apparently jammed his left thumb. It was swollen today, and so far so good. A couple of hard knocks, a stolen base. Bryce Harper doing his thing. His big spring continues. I'll tell you what, Carp, I used to get in my own head with the best of them. A big spring would scare me. I would be, oh no. That's the way average players think. Great players like Bryce don't think that way, but average players think, uh-oh, there's a slump around the corner somewhere.
Yeah, something bad's going to happen. There's Jordan Schaefer. He at one time was a prized prospect of this organization. Now they're looking at him as a 4th outfielder and a guy who can pinch hit, pinch run. He's always had blinding speed. By the way, Bryce Harper now batting .421 this spring. Three homers, 12 RBIs. One stat people forget about, the fact that Bryce Harper, despite not being called up till the end of the first month of the season, was among the league leaders in runs scored last year.
Well, he created a lot of those opportunities himself by hustling, getting into scoring position when a lot of guys wouldn't.
98 runs, number 5 in all of the National League.
And checking out the stance right now, Carp, and it looks to me like he's on his legs a little more than he was last year. Check out the knee bend. He's always been down there, but it looks a little bit lower to me, using his lower half. See that?
Look at him drive that ball to left center. It is curving and carrying. It is over the glove of Jose Constanza. And Bryce Harper is 3 for 3. I mean, that thing was heading for the flags. It made a left turn, and it was screaming all the way.
Man, a lot of people, I think, don't realize you pitch with your legs, you hit with your legs. It's the strongest part of your body, and to see Bryce on his legs like he is right now, you see the result. 3 for 3, a double in the gap right there, using the elements well, but that ball was hit on any day. Probably getting the gap. And I think that's enough, Bryce. Let's start saving him for the regular season. You're good.
Yeah, he's now batting over .430.
Put him on a plane, get him to DC, he's ready.
I am just so much enjoying watching the replays of the way he attacks the baseball. Breaking ball, a good one from Medlin to Ryan Zimmermann. Ryan's flied to right, bounced out to second. But that bounce out moved a runner over with 1 out right before Danny Espinosa hit a 3-run homer. Medlin holds on to a changeup too long. 1 ball, 1 strike. So the Nats have had 6 runs on 8 hits. 3 of them by Harper. Espinosa, a 2-hit day.
So 15 runs and 22 hits for Chris Medlin his last 2 outings. And counting.
Look out.
And I don't care who you are in baseball. You say it's just spring training, I'm working on things, but you have 2 outings back-to-back this late in the season. If you're Chris Medlin, it's got to get in your head. He can say what he wants in the media. He can say whatever he wants. But as a player, and you go to player mode, it'll rattle you. I don't care. You know that opening day's right around the corner. You know that the numbers are going on your baseball card soon enough. And if you have a couple stinkeroos and you're getting ready to head north, I'm telling you, it gets in your head. It doesn't matter what he says in the paper. He's thinking about it right now. If the Phillies thing happens and he gives up 14 hits and 9 runs in 5 innings, you can blow it off. But when you back it up with another one like this, I don't care what the wind's doing, and I don't care who you are, he has to be thinking about it all of a sudden.
And the Nats have made good contact today, with the exception of the very first hit, which was that bloop by Span. But everything else has been pretty much on the button from the Nats bats today.
I mean, you'll see quotes like, you know, I was hitting my spots.
Working on this,
working on my
that.
fastball,
Yeah.
but I don't care. You know, I go 0 for 4 the last week of spring training with 3 Ks. I'm on that plane going north thinking about it, thinking that all of a sudden the at-bats are going to start coming every single day. And in Chris Medlin's case, you know, I'm going to be on that rubber every 5th day, and it's coming fast. And he's not locked in. He's not even close.
Well,
His location hasn't been there. Everything's been up.
Yeah, he's coming off a season where he had 12 starts. I mean, he didn't have 33 starts. So for a young pitcher like him who's coming back from Tommy John, this is going to be some uncharted waters for him this year. And he's considered their number 3 starter. Braves have pretty much announced their rotation as Tim Hudson, Paul Mahalam, Chris Medlin, Mike Minor, and Julio Teheran. So they got 3 right-handers, 2 lefties, and Mahalam and Minor. Tommy Hansen's gone. I think the Atlanta pitching staff, their rotation, will be interesting to watch to see how deep in the game they can get it to those 2 unbelievable arms they have in the bullpen. Change up, LaRoche, a good take.
Well, I think Kimbrel's one of the best pitchers in baseball, period. And the season he had last year, all the strikeouts. It was tough just to put the ball in play off him, let alone beat him.
Johnny Venters, his setup guy. Fastball on the inside edge, and the count's 1-2. And LaRoche pulls it to Hopper. It's Chris Johnson to Medlin for the second out, with Bryce Harper going to third base. And another AB coming for Ian Desmond. Dirty uni, what else is new? Yeah. Bryce Harper. To him, it's a 72-degree day, there's no wind, and it's a perfect day for baseball.
And it's October.
Now, that's an empty seat. What does that mean?
Thanks for the sign, whoever's not sitting in your seat right now. It's been behind home plate all day, and I appreciate it, even if you're not brave enough to hold it up yourself. She's been back there holding it up all day. We saw her earlier in BP. I'll tell you what, the fans down here, we've talked about it before, they are just, I mean, it might as well be Red Sox. It might as well be Yankees.
They're amped.
DC is a baseball town. It's official. It's that simple.
I had a guy come up to me last week. He said, I am so excited about this team. And he said, I just want you to know, I didn't jump on the bandwagon last year. I've been with you the whole time.
And we're okay with jumping on the bandwagon.
I know.
The merrier.
But it was important for him to tell us that he'd been with us right from the start, and I told him how much we appreciated that.
The bandwagon.
But whether you're a Johnny or a Janie, come lately, we're glad to have you.
Yeah.
But those of you who suffered through those early seasons, some of you Senators fans, when they were first in War and Peace and last in the American League, it's all pulling in the same direction, and that's all that matters.
Well, it's just cool when you go out somewhere in D.C., wherever you are, you hear people talking about Davey Johnson, about the Nationals, about baseball. In my first year here, that wasn't the case. Second year, a little bit, but last year, I mean, wherever you go, that's the talk on the street. About the Nationals, about baseball, about what they've accomplished, where they're at, where they're going, how the plan has come together, and how they're going to be good for a long time. And I'll tell you what, it's a pleasure to be a part of it. And just to see it evolve to where it was 2 years ago when I got here. You've been here a lot longer than that. Seen it come a lot farther.
Desmond pulls off that pitch. Medlin, by the way, pulling out some off-speed stuff to strike out Zimmermann and Desmond in a scoreless fifth. Stadium, Vieira, Florida, about 40 miles east of Orlando. Right off of I-95, and that's where we are for the 6th inning of this one. Nats 6, Braves 1. Jordan Zimmermann right at about 13 to 14 pitches per inning. So 5 innings, 68 pitches, 42 strikes, a great ratio. And he faces Ramiro Pena, the shortstop, who greets him with a first pitch base hit. Jose Constanza next.
The Nats have turned 3 double plays today. If they turn one right here with Constanza up, I'll be shocked. This guy can fly.
Yes, he can. 2 quickest guys in the league, maybe him and Emilio Bonifacio when healthy.
Yeah. Might throw the Shark in there. I think those guys may be just a tad quicker.
Jose Constanza from the Dominican. 250 in 37 games for the Braves last year, 5 stolen bases. He'll be 30 years of age in September. Guy who's battled his way around the minor leagues for a long, long time. Tapper up the middle. Oh, Espinosa tried to flip to Desmond, way off target. Danny was thinking flip and let's get 2.
Well, that's part of the danger of turning all the great double plays that those guys turn up the middle. You think you could turn anything against anyone, and Danny Espinosa, because of the speed of Constanza, tries the backhanded flip right there. Doesn't work. But you saw the pitch from Jordan Zimmermann. It was a changeup. Changeup down the zone to get the ground ball with 2 strikes. So not only does it put it in your head as a hitter that he has a changeup, it's a good ground ball pitch when you need it.
So 2 on, nobody out. Nationals' 20th error of the spring in 29 games. Jordan Perez, the hitter.
But that being said, Carp, I'd rather have my middle infield trying to turn everything than being passive out there. You can always turn them down a little bit if every once in a while they try to turn the spectacular double play, but more times than not, Danny Espinosa and Ian Desmond pull that off.
Yep.
And we go crazy and say, are you kidding me? That's the greatest double play I've ever seen in my life, and we'd like to watch it.
Jordan Perez, a career minor leaguer. Braves signed him a year ago in November. He's from Bryce Harper's hometown of Henderson, Nevada. A lot of time in the Kansas City organization, the Yankees. 28 years of age, and he gets an AB here, and he will be punched out on a perfect Jordan Zimmermann breaking ball. And for Jordan, that'll be his 4th strikeout.
Now, he didn't like the call, but Jordan planted the slider on the outer half of the plate. A little late break. You see the lean by Kurt Suzuki right there. Watch Suzuki lean back into the strike zone. Little things from a veteran catcher. The ball moving away from him, but not bringing it back with the glove. Bringing it back with his body. Maybe we can see that one more time if we have a chance.
That ball driven to center by Chris Johnson. On a hop to Span. The bases will be loaded with 1 out. Chris Johnson's always been a good hitter. Some time with Houston and Arizona. Let's go back to that strikeout of Perez by Zimmermann.
Watch the body of Kurt Suzuki, not the glove. It's been the Kurt Suzuki highlight show. Do you see him lean back into the strike zone right there? As a catcher, if you pull your glove, you're telling the umpire it's not a strike on a borderline pitch. Because you don't have to pull your glove on a strike. But if you give that little body lean back and you leave the glove right there, it gives the appearance that that ball had more plate than it actually has. Little things. Kurt Suzuki's so fundamentally sound.
Pasternicki, is it a double play? No, Desmond, no chance to pivot, and he almost picked off Constanza at third base. The one guy that I always saw who could make that play was Ozzie Smith. Picked off a lot of runners, and heads up by Desmond. He knew he probably didn't have a play at first.
Well, it's been a teaching day up here in the booth, and there's outs everywhere in the baseball field. It's not always the conventional style. If you know you don't have a play at first because Desmond bobbled, you look for the backdoor play at third, and heads up by Ian Desmond. Nice tag by Ryan Zimmermann, and I don't know if he was safe or not. Good play, heads up play. And how many shortstops in the National League can throw a ball flat-footed from second base with something on it across the diamond to third? That was impressive.
That answer would be hardly anybody.
Wow.
That was impressive. Here's Juan Francisco, the third baseman. So runners at the corners, 2 outs. The Braves got a run there. And that's pretty good damage. LaRoche misses it. Espinosa to Zimmermann, safe, and another run scores. Adam LaRoche just didn't drop the gate enough to get that ball. And the Braves have their third run of the day, and all runs scored in this inning will be unearned.
Yeah, I can't remember how many times I wrote E3 in my scorecard last year, but it wasn't very many. Adam LaRoche with a little peek right there at the end. Something you don't see very often. Danny Espinosa still had a chance to get the out at first base. The throw was just wide. You know, I talked a lot at length about a former outfielder that I couldn't wait to get back to regular ballparks for the regular season. Well, as an infielder, you can't wait to get to the great big league fields. And that's one of the best playing surfaces in the big leagues. And those guys, spring training fields have a tendency to dry out. They have a tendency to be quicker and harder than fields during the regular season. And all the infielders can't wait to get back up to the pristine field in the big leagues as well.
By the way, they gave Francisco a hit on that. And Jordan Schaefer is the hitter. As I talked about earlier, a couple of years ago, he was considered their center fielder of the future. Just really didn't hit enough at the major league level. They sent him off to Arizona. Now he's back with the Braves. And a swing and a miss on a high riding fastball.
And a guy with all the tools that has had his opportunities. He can fly. He's got a good arm. He covers a lot of ground in the outfield. Just hasn't really put it together at the plate.
Out to short. Desmond waiting for that one. The short way to Espinosa. And the inning is over. Braves get a couple of hits, pick up 2 unearned runs, and it's 6-3. Have some weather approaching, looking a little dark behind home plate here at Space Coast Stadium in Vieira, Florida. Nats on top, 6-3. And don't forget about those single game tickets. By the way, more than 35,000 tickets have already been purchased for Friday's game. So if you're waiting for Friday and you want good seats, do not wait any longer. Go to nationals.com right now. So some of those single game tickets for the regular season start at $10. Nationals.com/tickets.
That's going to be tough to get tickets all season long. The weather looking good for Friday, and like you said, Carp looking great for opening day.
Yeah. You need weather information, you just tune into us on Mapper.
Well, I downloaded a new weather app for $1.99 yesterday. I am loving it. And it told me that the wind is blowing out hard to left field tomorrow, and Danny Espinosa taking advantage of it.
He must have that same app.
He does. He was looking at it in the dugout between at-bats, and he said, I'm just going to swing real easy right here and ride one out to left. Another good swing in the spring for Espinosa.
Well, he'll get to do that this time if he pulls the ball, because he's facing left-hander Luis Avilan. Umpires have been updated by the personnel here about some approaching weather. The way this wind's blowing, man, it could blow in here in a hurry. Is an official ball game, bottom of the sixth, and Luis Avilan, non-drafted free agent, back in 05 by the Braves, 31 games, a 2 ERA in 36 innings last year. And he's a strikeout guy, had 33 Ks, 10 walks. He actually opened the season last year at AA Mississippi. Man, there is some severe weather crossing Central Florida, heading our way. I bet you it's wreaking havoc with the Arnold Palmer Invitational over there at Bay Hill in Orlando.
Yeah, if you're in D.C. right now, it's going to drop from 83 all the way down to 78. It's going to get freezing cold here in a minute.
Jackets.
Thanks for that one, FP.
Espinosa 2 for 2. 3 for 3. Look at that ball. That is laced into left center. Danny Espinosa just pulled out a 2-iron and hit a screamer to the gap. How about that? Single, home run, and double for Danny Espinosa.
Here we talked about Bryce saving him for the season. I don't think you can say the same for Espinosa. I've watched him today. He's lost the big leg kick, kind of modified, especially from the left side. Keeping that foot close to the ground, and another great at-bat for Espinosa, a guy that can use all the good at-bats you could get before the season starts, and confidence high for Danny Espinosa right now. Swing looks great from both sides.
Hitting .349 in the spring. Here's Kurt Suzuki with Tyler Moore on deck. So Jordan Zimmermann's going to be done for the day. By the way, 84 pitches. Jordan Zimmermann, 54 strikes. Kurt Suzuki today, a walk, thrown out at the plate on a base hit by Worth, and then a fly ball to right. Up the middle, base hit. Here comes Danny Espinosa. And the Nats get one of those runs right back. It's 7-3 Washington.
A lot of discussion whether it's going to be Wilson Ramos or Kurt Suzuki behind the home plate for opening day. And I'll tell you what, Kurt Suzuki has been a clinic today. We've shown his base running at second base with his lead. We've shown him framing borderline pitches and getting calls. And how about runner on second, nobody out, trying to advance him, playing the game the right way, doing everything right. You get the bonus plan, you drive him in on top of it. Subtle things for Kurt Suzuki that he brings to a ball club to help him win games.
And if Chad Tracy meant what he told us several innings ago, he probably told Tyler Moore they're about to bring in a left-hander and the pitcher spot's coming up, so young man, get yourself ready. It's like having another, he's like the bench coach, you know. They're the guys who sit next to the managers and handle a lot of things. It's like Ryan Matthews has been throwing, and he'll take over in the 7th. And the Nats lead 7-3. Moore high in the air, center field. He just hit it too high, and now it's getting knocked down. And Jordan Schaefer had to use his good wheels to get over there and grab it. Oh, man.
I don't even know if this is baseball at this point.
If you hit that ball over near the left field line, it might go out of the ballpark.
Let's check out Schaefer's navigation system. What address did he punch in? Wind's blowing. He's thinking, that's out of here. No, wait. It's not. I'm going to run in, make the play. Any play made right now with the wind blowing is a great play. Tracy thought he got him, but not right now.
Top of the order, Denard Span, 1 on, 1 out. Denard 1 for 3. Gets to face the lefty here. And gets to look at a pretty good breaking ball that comes frisbeeing right in. Man, those flags are just standing straight out right now. Any weather approaching us from the Orlando area would be coming from behind the first base grandstand.
We were told that at Bay Hill there's tornado warnings and they pull the golfers off the course.
Wow.
You know how outside I get for severe weather.
Yeah, you got to think for that.
You'll be going out. You'll be going inside. I'll be going outside.
Well, after we fished you out of the Mississippi River 2 years ago with that one in St. Louis, we're all huddling, and you're out on the ramp watching the thing come at the stadium.
The tornado coming down the street. That was awesome.
One on, 1 out, a run home here in the 6th. Nats have out hit the Braves 10-6. And lead 7-3. Three balls and a strike. Span looks at a fastball and walks. So he's on for the second time today. That'll be Denard's 9th walk this spring to go with 9 strikeouts. So he has a good batting eye. Let's look at our next 5. It starts with the Yankees at Nationals Park, 2 o'clock Friday afternoon. Opening day game against the Marlins Monday. We're off Tuesday. 2 more with the Fish. And how about a showdown? First weekend of the season. 2 of the best teams in the National League. When the Nats go to the Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati.
That's a good time to play in that park when you think about it, because when it warms up in midsummer, it's a launching pad. It'll be cooler early in the season. The park will play fair.
Yeah. So a lot of people talking Western Division, Dodgers, Giants, Central, Reds, Cards, East, Nats, Braves, Phillies. That one by the pitcher, handled by Pena. Pastornicki turns a nice 6-4-3 double play. Skies are getting dark. We've played 6 in Vieira, Nats by 4.
That is your favorite food, Bob Carpenter, right there, the hot dog.
It's one of the major food groups along with pizza and hamburgers. that big triangle, you know, the food pyramid.
Yeah, ballpark food. We love it.
Yep. They got to be grilled, though. Don't boil a hot dog anywhere near me. Roger Bernardina's in center. Tyler Moore is in left. There he is playing catch with the Shark. Steve Lombardozzi is at second base. And Carlos Rivero will get some time at short. Ryan Matthews takes over. Wow, how good was Ryan Matthews on Friday? 1 inning, 2 strikeouts. I mean, he had it all going on.
Yeah, 2-seam fastball was good. The forkball was a wipeout pitch with 2 strikes. So confidence high for Ryan Matthews heading into the season.
Matt Pagnozzi, the catcher.
Excuse me, partner. Paul Emmel telling the ballpark to turn on the lights right now. He gave the signal for the lights to come on. It's getting dark.
And then the Braves will hit for Luis Avilan, who just gave up 2 hits and a run in the 6th inning.
Hey, what do you got right here, Carp? Guy on deck. What's his name? It's you. You got it. You're good at this.
Turtoslavich.
Nice.
He helped us out. His first name's Joe.
He's very considerate.
Well, we saw him last year in September, I believe. He'll be hitting for the pitcher. So Ryan Matthews making his 10th appearance of the spring, 10 innings, 8 hits, 13 strikeouts, a walk, and the Grapefruit League hitting .211 against him. Then he walks the number 8 man, Pagnozzi.
All right, bring him to the plate, Carp.
Joe Turtoslavich from Sarasota, 6th-rounder by the Braves in the draft 3 years ago. He was at AAA Gwinnett and AA Mississippi last year. Their Mississippi ball club is the old Jackson franchise. Longtime Mets AA. Braves are there now. Their AAA is in Gwinnett, which is in Gwinnett County, just north of Atlanta. High hopper up the middle. Well played. Lombardozzi tried to turn it into 2, and he gets the lead run. Nicely done.
That's a tough play as a second baseman. You're going up the middle. The shortstop's going for the ball, too, so you have nobody to flip it to. You got to change your momentum to get back to the bag. Really athletic play right there by Lombardozzi. Made it close at first, too.
1 on, 1 out, top of the order. Ramiro Pena, the shortstop. On the first pitch he saw from Jordan Zimmermann. Bounced a base hit up the middle last inning. Here's Zimmerman's line, 6 innings, 6 hits, 3 runs, but only 1 earned. He walked 3, struck out 4. He threw 84 pitches, 54 strikes.
Didn't get the memo from Paul Emmel. He told him to turn on the lights. They are not on.
Yeah, they need to be. The field's kind of dark. What a good play by Suzuki, and a ball that probably bounced 6 to 8 feet out in front of him.
He's screeching his nest in right center field, or did he head north? And check out Kurt Suzuki. He's been a Tom O'Maskey video all day long. Fundamentally sound. And he's so fired up to hear that I compared him to the Tom O'Maskey video. With Fred McGriff and his truck driver hat.
Have you ever thrown a ball into a trash can on 1 hop from center field?
Duh, who hasn't? It's just the trash can has trouble making the tag at home. He doesn't have any arms.
I heard that Satchel Paige could throw a 1-hopper home from the center field warning track. That's how strong that man's arm was. 1 and 2, and a nasty, is that a breaking ball by Matthews, or did he turn one over with that split, that fork ball? Wow.
Anytime you see it go straight down and kind of get the knuckleball rotation, that's been the wipeout pitch for Ryan Matthews. We had him on the air. He was kind enough to come on Friday and said, you know, he tried to force the slider at times last year. Probably his third best pitch, and he's going two-seam fastball, four-seam fastball, and the fork for the wipeout pitch. Looks great.
Out to short, backhand play. Carlos Rivero right on target, and that is it. Time for a good crowd of over 6,000 to stretch at Space Coast Stadium. Nats 7-3. Back into their seats here at Space Coast Stadium in Vieira. The Nats on top 7-3. Harper, Zimmermann, and LaRoche would be the scheduled guys. We'll check on all the substitutions. And don't forget about MLB.TV Premium. Watch over 150 select spring training games live. Every regular season game live. You can do that on over 250 mobile and connected devices. That's just a few more that FP has in his briefcase. Visit nationals.com for details. David Carpenter will be the new Atlanta pitcher, and we visit with Denard Span. Hey, Denard, thanks for joining us a couple of times on base today. And Rick Eckstein told us that he thinks your stroke is coming around nicely here late in spring training. How are you feeling at the plate?
Like you said, it's coming along pretty good. It started off a little rough this spring, and but the last week or so, it's been coming back pretty good.
The weather is approaching. It's starting to hail right on you right now.
You see that? I know, man.
It's hailing sunflower seeds. Well, Denard, we talked about it before the game. I think the key to any good leadoff hitter is not being afraid to hit with two strikes. You're a guy that goes deep into counts. I think a lot of times, doesn't that help you in spring training, the more pitches you see getting ready for the season?
Yeah, that's what it's all about. For me at least, is trying to see as many pitches as possible. I feel like if I can see a lot of pitches, then it's gonna help my timing to get where it needs to be. And that's my job as a leadoff hitter anyways, is to see pitches. So it works out for both ways.
Hey, Denard, a thought just popped into my head. The guys are coming home for an exhibition game on Friday. And that's a well-struck ball by Steve Lombardozzi.
Yeah.
And that is over the head of Perez. Well, somebody can get one over somebody's head in right field today, and it's Steve Lombardozzi.
Nice one, yeah.
How about that?
Short, compact, Denard, and the wind's blowing as hard as it's been all day in from right. And I said it's going to be tough to get a ball over a right fielder's head today, and Lumbo with a little knockdown 2-iron.
Yeah, I think they underestimated him a little bit, but they haven't seen him in the weight room like I have.
Hey, Denard, how important is it to see the ballpark on Friday, in which you will be playing half your games this year, because center field has some interesting angles out in left center, and will that be a kind of a learning process for you Friday when you get a chance to work out and actually play in some game conditions at Nationals Park?
Yeah, most definitely. Friday, I'm definitely going to get out there and just take a walk around center field. Try to see where the divots are, see how the ball plays off the wall, and and just just get a feel for being out there. I've never played in Washington, so Friday is going to be my first crack at just getting an opportunity to be out there.
And Denard, we were talking about the last broadcast a little bit today. As a base stealer, you try to get your rhythm. You get in streaks over there, too, in grooves to where you feel confident. You're getting good jumps all the time. And I used to work on that later in spring training. You got a great jump today. Is that something you try to implement later on as you get closer to opening day?
You know what? You don't want to try to steal too much in spring training because you don't want to give it away a little bit. For me at least, I want to just get like you said, get my timing right. And I know which bags I can steal and which bags I can't steal in spring training. But like you said, yeah, it's good to get everything going towards the end of spring training.
Well, playing the teams sometimes you're going to play during the season. As many times you play the Braves, I'm sure you put that in the computer today that Medlin's very slow to the plate.
Yeah. That's definitely, you know what? Yeah, that's definitely, I was surprised. That was my first time facing him today. And when I got on base, I'm going to be honest, I wasn't thinking about stealing in the first inning. But when he gave me that high leg kick, I had no choice but to go.
Cool.
Man, we got some good guys who can run the bases at the top of this lineup. Bryce Harper, he's 4 for 4 this spring, Denard, stealing. And in between you guys, one of the best base runners in all of baseball is Jason Worth. So the three of you appear to be a pretty good moving tandem at the top of this lineup.
Yeah, we're all three of us are athletic. We definitely move around the bases pretty good. J-Dub, he's just a smart player all around. He played with some good teams in Philadelphia. He had a good base running coach and Davey Lopes in Philadelphia. So he's learned from one of the best. So whenever he talks base running, I'm all ears.
Yeah, it's the most underrated part of the game, and I think the weakest part of the game on the whole at the major league level. And when you have a team and guys like yourself that can run the bases, not just aggressively, but intelligently, too, it's such a plus.
Adam LaRoche into the jet stream. Out of here and way out of here.
Playing the elements right there.
As soon as we interviewed Denard Span, 2 left-handed hitters take 2 of the best strokes of the day in Lombardozzi and LaRoche, and Adam has a 4 RBI day.
I'll tell you what, if they keep this up, I might not be playing this season. I'm going to be on air with you guys.
No, you're playing.
And you're also welcome anytime. I mean, we used to call that good, smart hitting right there by Adam LaRoche. Got a pitch up and away. And I know the wind is blowing out to left, but that ball was hit. It might have been out on any other day. The guy with 30-plus home runs, Denard, he hit home runs the opposite way a lot. I don't think people realize that.
Yeah, that was a nice stroke right there. You definitely probably been at least at the least a double on a normal day.
Roger Bernardina is next, and of course Roger with the Nats hasn't had that many major league at bats. He's just 0 for 4. A lot of time with the Netherlands in the World Baseball Classic. And I'll tell you, Denard, you've got a very capable backup with a guy like this. Between you and him, it's like having a great center fielder out there every day.
Yeah, I've got an opportunity to watch him play, just through practice and a little bit of time that he's been here, and watching him play, I'm really very, very impressed. He definitely has the ability to be an everyday player. And like you said, if I go down or if one of us go down, just to have him coming off the bench or have him coming in to fill in, we're not going to miss a beat with him.
And he also has the ability to give up his number to a new player. And we had him on last time, and he said that he has not gotten compensation for giving you number 2 yet.
Wow, I can't believe he threw me under the bus like that. That's why he grounded out right there.
The baseball gods. So there's no deal in the works. He just, out of the goodness of his heart, gave you number 2.
You know what? I had planned on changing my number from 2. I wore 2 in Minnesota. I had planned on changing it to another number. And, when I talked to Mike Wallace, our clubhouse guy, he told me that Bernie had planned on changing his number anyway. So when I reached out to him, he made it seem like it was no big deal. And I didn't have to beg, because I wasn't going to, come into a new team and try to take somebody's number. I'm not that type of guy. So
yeah, but that's Bernardina's fault. I mean, he's got to play that a little bit better. Even if he's trying to change numbers, he'd be like, I don't want to give it up. What can you do? A Rolex? Well, what can you do for me
because,
here?
Roger's quite the clothes horse. He could have squeezed a new suit out of that.
Yeah.
Deal. I would definitely have got him a suit. He could at least got a $1,500 suit easily from me. I still might. Now that you guys are making me feel bad, I still might.
Hey, we got to wear a suit every day up here, Denard. Don't forget about your buddies in the booth.
Yeah, don't be afraid.
All right. I got you guys. I'm going to ask my mom how you guys are talking about me during the game, so let's see how that goes.
been a while since we spent $1,500 for a suit up here. I guarantee you that. 1 ball, 1 strike. This is Carlos Rivero batting with 2 outs and the bases empty. The Nats on top 9-3. Well, Denard, it's so great to have you with the ball club. We look for a good season from you, and all the best in the last week of spring training.
I appreciate it. Appreciate you guys having me.
All right, Denard Span, one of those character guys Mike Rizzo has brought to this club. Nats by 6. Stadium in Vieira, Florida, with severe weather in the area. A lot of folks have headed for the exits, but a whole bunch, more than half, still here. Nats lead 9-3. Don't forget about those 2013 season plans. You can get those at 2012 pricing. Stop by nationals.com/2013, and the special offer expires 1 week from today on March 31st. Micah Owings, making the conversion from pitcher to position player, is in left field. That'll move Tyler Moore to the infield across from Chad Tracy, who's at third. Tyler Moore is at first base. New pitcher, Tyler Clippard. They got the lights on here.
Carp, I just went out the backside of the stadium.
Is it black out there?
It's bad. They have a tornado warning, meaning there's one on the ground.
Jordan Perez, that's what it looks like. I mean, you look up in the upper right-hand corner out there in Tornado Alley where I live. Those are clouds that could turn into something you don't want to see. And now as the wind really starts whipping, fans are scrambling for the exits.
This is nasty.
Yeah, this is not good. We're talking high winds, and they're going to have to pull these teams off the field.
Pull the broadcasters into a basement.
Yeah, these are almost impossible conditions here.
Look at out there. Look at the gusts.
Tyler Clippard with a count of 1 ball, no strikes. He aborts his delivery. And really, you've got to think that the umpires in a spring training game need to get both teams off the field right now. I mean, there's some construction areas. They pulled the teams off the field here. There are construction areas around the ballpark here, and there is just dust everywhere. So they pull them off the field here at 3:18 local time. Well, I mean, this is as severe a change of weather that you will ever see anywhere. And here in Florida, with the tornado situation not too far away from here, as we understand it, they have pulled the teams off the field. They got some fans standing up in the seats below us, and everybody needs to get, of course, if they're down on the concourse below us, that is exposed to the weather, and that's where the weather's coming from. So we've got a dangerous, potentially dangerous situation here in Vieira.
Yeah, there's a lot of rain behind it, too. They won't continue this game.
So in the meantime, we will step aside. We'll send you off to alternate programming, which is ESPN News. And if this one resumes, we'll keep you posted. But, folks, keep your fingers crossed for people